Welcome to Bird Seeds. As always, thank you so much for listening. This is Joe Bird. Today's going to be a little bit of a humble brag, a little kind of inside my mind, some of the success I've had, things like that. So as you all know, moved over to a new brokerage that I'm now a co-owner of that brokerage. And in real estate, our information's up on a ton of websites. So we're going through and just making sure that everything through, all the portals, Zillow, the Realtor.com, all the profiles we have in all those places have the updated information. We have a bunch of referral sources where they send us business. And part of that, my assistant Nick was going in. He's awesome, doing a great job. And he pulled my stats for my career. And I've never really looked at it that way. I've always looked at it year by year, which I know those numbers pretty well, but I never, put it all together into a career stat. And a little bit of humble brag, I was blown away. So over 1,000 units sold in the 13 and a half years I've been an agent, $750 million in production. That blew my mind. But what really, really, really blew my mind was my list to sales ratio over my entire career. So if you're in real estate or you're sort of familiar with real estate, the last couple of years, we've seen lots of offers at above asking price. That's kind of become the standard. But for a very long time in my career, that was not the case. I mean, that is a newer phenomenon. People say the COVID market, it really started in 2019. The market really heated up then. COVID kind of threw some gasoline on that fire, if you will. But we were seeing a very competitive market in 2019. But really, from 2011, I got licensed all the way up to that 2019 mark. If you got a full price, that was kind of, crazy. There are always exceptions. There's always the one that's sold list price. There's always the one that's sold for above asking. There's, pricing strategies where you can price it a little bit low to create extra demand. I'm not saying that it didn't happen, but it wasn't sort of the standard. So I go back to my career all the way back in 2011 to current, and my average list to sale ratio was 100.43%. It blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind that over my entire career, I have averaged getting list price slightly more. Totally awesome. So I was talking to an old friend, guy by the name of Matt Pless. I'm recording music for him right now in the setup. I'm actually doing a video this weekend. It's a demo tape for Tiny Desk, NPR's Tiny Desk concert. So pretty exciting. I'll be playing the upright bass and doing the recording on that. Super exciting. Old punk rock friend, played in a great band called Three Prong Islet that my high school band, No Excuse, used to play with all the time. We've stayed in touch over the years. Don't see each other very often, but we've stayed in touch. Just super genuine, awesome, honest, heartfelt guy. But he asked me, he's like, hey, I've seen some of the marketing videos you're doing, that kind of stuff. He's like, how did you, have you always been business focused? All that kind of stuff. And I never really broke that down or thought about that in that way. And I said, well, no, not really. I was always not just happy with the status quo. That's the punk rock in me, right? Just because it's that way and it works doesn't mean it's the best way it can work. I was always willing to fight the establishment, fight the system, forge my own path, do it my way. I always believed in what I believed in wholeheartedly and did that wholeheartedly. That's that punk rock nature in me. And, I think in business, that's an important aspect, is to be able to see things for the way they could be, not the way they are, and then have the motivation to make that happen. But it wasn't really in a business sense. I did, used to sell Joe Corby's pizzas or whatever for sports or band or whatever. And I was always really good at that. I had no fear to kind of ask people, hey, you're going to eat pizza. Why don't you buy my pizza? It's going to help me out do this. So that kind of no fear and that ability to talk to anybody at any time and ask things of people at any time. I mean, that's a big part of being successful in sales as an entrepreneur. But I didn't really have the business mind. I wasn't the kind of person that had the lemonade stand or anything like that just sort of, was always looking to make money. It was never really about money. It was about change, for me at least. And then I threw a shout out, thank you to my buddy, Brendan Bosman. So when I owned the music label and did that whole thing for a long time, he was the one that sort of, saw the potential that I had. He had the original concept for the company. He's the one that kind of talked me into joining him up and doing it. And that's really what pulled the business out of me. I was interested in the music business. I was going to school for music business. But again, I wasn't really into that because of the financial side of it. I was into it because I wanted to do it better. I saw lots of issues in the music industry and I thought there was a better way to do it. And frankly, when we had our company, we had our label, it wasn't about money then either. It was about making it better for artists. And, obviously we wanted to be successful. We wanted to be, do all that stuff, but it wasn't really about cash. It was about impact. But a huge shout out to Brennan for sort of pushing that in me and getting me to kind of move in that direction. I got very interested in business at that point. really kind of honed in on the music business aspect of it and the business side of the music business in school and pushed that through. So, I mean, that's kind of what lit that entrepreneurial fire for me. So, to recap, it's the spirit in you at first, for me, at least. I'm giving my story. It's the spirit that's in me. It's the fight, the drive to do something different, to do it better. It's the motivation to get it done. It's the willingness to just put myself out there and do it. And then it's the interest in sort of how the business side of things work and all that. Again, it was a great question. Just have you always been good at that? Or have you always been interested in that? Whatever. No. And I've honed that skill, but I'm very organic. My style of sales, my style of business is you get me. You get my thoughts, my opinions. I'm not sugarcoating it. Of course, there's a way to package an idea or a statement or a thought or a sales pitch or whatever, but you're still getting my real opinion no matter what. Like, I'm not gonna, mess around. I'm not gonna deceive. It's honesty, it's integrity, it's, compassion, it's all those things. But I think those are the elements, at least for me, that led to what has been, knock on wood, a very successful career so far. And again, with those stats I shared earlier, I'm patting myself on the back. I'm very impressed with those stats. They're pretty wild numbers. And how did I do it? That's how I did it. I care. I care about the outcome. I care more about the outcome than the income. That's a fun saying. I never thought about that. Care more about the outcome than the income. So I care more about what my work does to the world than how much it brings back to me personally. And it's a new tagline. I care more about the outcome than the income. It's perfect. That's the title of this episode. You heard me do it live. But yeah, that's really what it comes down to. Now, there's different business people. There's, everybody's a little bit different in how they operate. You got to be you. So don't mimic what I do. If it's not what you do, be you. At the end of the day, that's what it takes. Be you. Be a confident version of yourself. Anyway, so Bird Seeds. Hope you're having a great day. Happy birthday, Laura. Talk to you guys soon. Take care.